Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be discussing the first section in Chapter 8, which is 8.1, Volumes of Cylinders. To find the volume of a cylinder, we're going to be doing something very similar to when we were finding the volume of a prism. The only difference when we're finding the volume of a cylinder is that in a cylinder, our two bases are now circular, whereas in a prism, we had shapes such as rectangles, squares, hexagons, triangles, various shapes with straight sides as our bases. Now in a cylinder, we're going to be finding the volume using two circular bases. If you look under the algebraic definition for the volume of a cylinder, we see that the equation is volume equals area of the base. This capital B represents area of one of the bases, while H here represents the height of the cylinder. So all we're going to do is calculate the area of the circle that makes the base and multiply by the height of the entire cylinder. So in example 1, I'm going to find the volume of this cylinder that's given. It says round our answer to the nearest tenth, so when I plug in pi, I'm going to use pi is equal to 3.14, and then round my final answer to that first decimal place. First, I'm going to find capital B, which is the area of the base of the cylinder. Since the cylinder has a base that is a circle, this base right here can be found by using the formula pi times radius squared. Pi is 3.14, so I'll go ahead and plug that in for pi. And according to this diagram, my radius is 3. So pi, 3.14, times 3 squared. Doing exponents first, I get 3.14 times 9. And I'll go ahead and do this math off to the side. I get 28.26. And since we're talking area, the units here are square meters. So the area of the base is 28.26 square meters. You can either round to the nearest tenth now, or wait until you obtain your final answer to round. Doesn't matter either way you choose to do it. So my volume is capital B, area of the base, times the height. So that's 28.26 times H, which is the distance between the bases, and according to our diagram, that's 6. So I'm going to go ahead and just multiply this result by 6. And I end up with 169.56. And since we're talking volume, my units meters are cubed. Rounding my final answer to the nearest tenth, I find that volume is 169.6 cubic meters. On this next slide, we're going to be doing a little bit of work in reverse. In example 2, we are asked to find the height of the cylinder. Round our answer again to the nearest whole number. From the last slide, we found that volume is equal to capital B, which is the area of the base, multiplied by the height. Well, according to this diagram, I don't know H, but this time I do know V. My volume is 314 cubic inches. So I'm just going to substitute that value in for my V in my formula equation. So I have 314 cubic inches. That's going to be equal to the area of the base multiplied by the height. Now they don't give me the area of the base, but they do give me the diameter of this circle. If the diameter is equal to 10, that means my radius is going to be equal to 5. And now knowing that my radius is 5, I can find the area of that circle. Capital B is equal to pi times r squared. Pi is 3.14, and r is 5, so r squared is 5 squared. This is going to be 3.14 times 25, making sure we do those exponents first. And now that I've done my exponents, I can go ahead and multiply 3.14 by 25. I end up with 78.50 or 78.5. So capital B, or the area of that circular base, is 78.5 square inches. Times the height is going to give us our whole volume. So now to isolate h, or to solve for h, all I need to do is divide by the 78.5 square inches, divide by 78.5 square inches. Since I have cubic inches on top and square inches on the bottom, I know this is going to come out to just plain old inches. And now all we need to do is figure out what is 314 divided by 78.5. When doing this division, I find out that it is 4. So my final answer is that h is equal to 4 inches. Go ahead and take a moment to please pause the video and try on your own's number 1 and 2 by yourself or with your group. In number 1, since we're trying to find the volume, all we're going to do is use our formula where V is equal to the area of the base multiplied by the height. Since the area of your base is a circle, we'll use 3.14 times your radius, which is 4 squared, or 3.14 times 16, which is 50.24. So my final answer is going to be 50.24, the area of my base, multiplied by the height, or the distance between the bases, which is 15. When I multiply by 15, I get a final answer of 753.6 feet. And since we are talking volume, we have cubic feet. For number 2, we are trying to find h. So we're going to use the formula where V equals the area of the base multiplied by the height. V is 176. That's going to be equal to 3.14 times the radius of the circle. Since the diameter in this diagram is 8, my r is going to be 4 centimeters. So times 4 squared times h. 176 is going to equal 3.14 times 16 times h. We just did this in the last problem. We end up with 176 is equal to 3.14 times 16, which is 50.24, as we saw a second ago. Dividing both sides by that 50.24, I get 176 divided by 50.24. And the result is about 3.5 is equal to h. So the height of your cylinder is approximately 3.5 centimeters. And that's all for today. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have an excellent rest of your day.